Welcome back, YouTubers. I am Jason Worsman. This is the best damn fantasy football channel on YouTube. This is Tankers Fantasy Football, and today we're going to be breaking down all the recent trades in the NFL and some trade targets that you want to make in your fantasy football league. We're going to lead it off with a buy low at running backs, but before we do that, we know we just got to kick that sexy intro.
The milkman, the paperboy, the evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart.
Alright, I am back. Gonna get right into one buy low running back. Got James Conner. I mean, I'm not even a believer that Le'Veon Bell is gonna play at all this season out there. And even if he does, no way the Steelers just let James Conner sit the bench. They might even let Le'Veon Bell's bitch ass sit the bench. So if the James Conners believe that they might only have 1 or 2 weeks left of James Conner usage, I think you can go out there, get him on the cheap, and feel really, really good about yourself out there. We're going to get right into some wide receivers. Buy low at the wide receivers. We got Juju. Juju's only caught 4 of 6 targets for 33 yards. He only has 1 touchdown in the last 5 games. I think he's got nowhere to go but up. I think if we're in redraft, the owner might be a little bit on the fence about him as of late, so you can go out there and get him. I know that upcoming schedule is looking a little tough. He's got the Ravens, he's got the Panthers, and he's got Jacksonville coming up, who has, Jacksonville defense been kind of iffy out there anyway. But if you look at it in the fantasy playoffs starting 12 through week 16, I mean, it just gets cherry out there. He's got the Chargers, then he's got the Raiders, and he's got the Patriots, and he's got the Saints. And a lot of those games, you just know the Steelers are just going to have to clang and bang out there to get it done. So I think Juju all in buy low situation. We got some Kiki Kuti. He was on the waivers, but if he is rostered in your lineup, this Demaryius Thomas news probably coming into town. And you just got to think that Demaryius Thomas, I just think Demaryius Thomas has lost a step out there. I don't think he is what he used to be out there. I think there's anything that's just driving Kiki's perceived value down, so you can go any there, maybe even get him back off the waivers for even cheaper than I was talking about the other day. So all in on some Kiki Kuti. Chris Godwin, he only got 2 of 7 for 32 yards, but Fitz magic back in that ass, and you gotta be thinking all systems go. You gotta be thinking good things are ahead for these Tampa Bay wide receivers with the Fitz magic at the helm. Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, and Chris Godwin should continue to have very sexy, solid fantasy relevance for you. So all in on that. I know we got Golden Tate. He went to Philadelphia, so I think that kills the Golden Tate owners. I think it's out there. It's killing you. I mean, the guy was looking at, 90 to 100 catches a season in Detroit. He's going into Philadelphia. He's got to learn the playbook. I know he's probably going to be still wide receiver 3 flex play worthy, but I think I think his wide receiver 2 rest of the season outlook is diminished. I do not think that is in the cards, but I think this does boost up the likes of Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay seemed like, 3 targets in these last 2 games. I mean, we look at it, Golden Tate had 21% of the team's targets. So that's 27% of the team's targets have to go somewhere else. So all in on Kenny Galladay, all in on Marvin Jones. If you can still somehow get either of those guys at a reasonable price, and I know, the price has probably gone up since this Golden Tate news, but if you can still get either of those guys at a reasonable price, I would just get all up on that and get on both of those gentlemen. Right, Allen Robinson, who has missed a couple of weeks out there, and the biscuit has come to form, looking sexy, and looks like he's going to continue to clang and bang for the Chicago Bears. So once Allen Robinson comes back, he should be a viable wide receiver 2 for your fantasy squad. Maybe the owner, he's getting fed up, he's getting ready to get rid of him. Maybe he just needs to make a move to win in these bye weeks coming up and this and that. Maybe he's on the shelf. Maybe he's like a 3-5, 4-4 squad that just can't wait anymore. But coming up, he's got the Rams, the Packers, and the Niners in the fantasy playoffs. So another guy you'd think you can even grab and stash and hold for these sexy matchups coming into the fantasy playoffs. So I think it's about time we start looking ahead into the fantasy playoffs to see what's going on out there in the landscape. Maybe get out there and get yourself some defenses out there with some good matchups as well. You look at the Patriots. I picked them up last week. They played against the Bills. I'm going to hold on to them because they play the Bills again in Week 16. So if somehow I scratch and claw my ass into the championship game, I can have the Patriots. But if not, my team does allow trades all season long, so I can probably move the Patriots for a mid-round draft pick for a contender out there, even if I don't make it into the championship game. We got T.Y. Hilton, caught 1 of 5 targets. I mean, you got to think Andrew Luck's just going to, he's clanging and banging out there. T.Y. Hilton, definite solid buy low with this sad performance in Week 8. You can definitely probably get up on some of that. All right, you got to talk about Cortland Sutton. I know the buy low is probably completely out the door, but if you can still get this guy for any reasonable price, I definitely would. I think Demaryius Thomas, he's going to Houston. I think if people in your league are a believer in the Houston connection, I think Demaryius Thomas is a great sell high right now. If you can go out there and get wide receiver 2 value for Demaryius Thomas, I would definitely get about that, because you look at it, Demaryius Thomas is 70th amongst wide receivers in catch rate, and he's leading the NFL in drops right now. So my goodness, I don't think this is an upgrade. I think this is a desperation play by the Texans to bring in Demaryius Thomas. Once Will Fuller got hurt, they're on fucking tilt out there, but I don't know. I don't think this is going to resurrect. I don't think they're going to necromancer Demaryius Thomas back to fantasy relevance whatsoever. So I just think if you got somebody in your league that's a believer in Demaryius going to Houston, I would definitely sell high on that. All right, we got some buy lows at at quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, he's just going out there. He's not even necessarily a guaranteed starts thus far in one quarterback league. He only has 13 touchdowns thus far this season. That's half of what Mahomes had. Mahomes has 26 touchdowns. Rodgers only has 13 touchdowns right now. But you got to think with all of his wide receivers coming back, even Valdez-Scantling looking like the type of athlete that can really get it sexy for him out of that slot position. So I think there's nowhere to go but up. Rodgers' owner might have been starting another guy for these last couple of weeks, and maybe he's just on the ropes and just doesn't know what to do with him out there. I think you can go out there and get Rodgers for pennies on the dollar at this stage. And Eric Ebron's snap count is just so far down thus far this season. With Jack Doyle coming back, so I don't know if you still got a believer. Think a guy thinks he's still top 5 tight end, thinks he's still a solid tight end 1. I would go ahead and move him. See what you got going on out there. If you got any other tight end options on your team, or you can sell him for another tight end in a package deal. All right, you like the cut of my jib? Give us a share, give us a comment, give us a like out there. We just try to get it sexy for you week in and week out. We will answer any of your start-sit questions, any of your waiver wire questions, any of your trade questions down in the comment section below. Holler at us. Do not be afraid. Cheeseburger.